Wind finds my face like an old friend come to call. Feet in the same worn hollows where I once stood so small. Salt on my lips, same taste, different name. These cliffs I know by heart, and they know mine the same. So I stand alone on the edge. I remember watching gray waves ride your shadow in the foam. Every stone, every crack calls the girl I used to be back. I am not afraid. On the cliffs I know by name. Your coat on my shoulders, faded threads, loosened seams. I talk to the empty air, answering my own dreams. Far down the gulls are laughing at the courage I pretend. One step from where it ended, a lifetime from where it began. Once I begged the tide to bring you safely home. Now I bless the tide for teaching me to go. I came here with your memory. I leave here with my own.
He carved his name on the harbor wall, salt on his boots, eyes bright and small. Said, I'll take what I'm owed out there, gold in the depths, wind in my hair. But the sea will have the last word, soft as a prayer, sharp as a sword. You rise on the swell, think you've been heard, then you learn to listen. when the sea has the last word. Days turn to storms, clouds turn to slaves, ropes pull like teeth, the jaws of fate. He cursed the waves, swore he'd not yield, kept his pride stacked high as a shield. One gray dawn, the wind grew thin, his voice was lost in the water's hymn. A broken mast, a humbled man, kneeling in foam, whispering, I understand.
By the light of the peat fire, I'm bending my pen, your name in the margin, again and again. The ink blots like raindrops on old kitchen stone, as I write you a harbor from all its unknown. Letters over water, pages on the tide, carried by the currents where I cannot write. Every folded promise sealed with trembling hand, until your shadow finds me back on this green land. The rooster is calling, the dawn's coming pale, your last crumpled envelope, soft as a sail. You wrote of the factories and smoke in your hair. I answered with meadows and washing hung there. Letters over water, pages on the tide, carried by the currents where I can't write. Every folded promise sealed with trembling hand, until your shadow finds me back on this green land. The priest counts the seasons with chalk on the wall. Your brothers grow taller, your chair stays too small. I tuck your old jumper under my chin and hum you the verses I'll sing when you're in. Will you know this doorway, fresh paint a storm should claim you far from this cold shore, I'll keep sending letters till they float to her door. By the bay of silver sand, where the tide comes soft and shy, an old man traced the harbor line with salt and sleep in his eyes. He said, "Child, the night remembers every name it ever knew, as the quiet in the shallows held the fallen stars like dew. Moonlight on the water, breathing in and out. Every ripple carries every fear you doubt. Lay your sorrow on the shore. Let the stillness make it smaller. Watch it drift from you forever. Moonlight on the water." On a stone worn smooth and pale, I sat wrapped in shawl and thought. All the years I tried to carry what the sea had long forgot. Then the sky laid down its lantern on the gently folding tide, and the weight I'd never spoken softly loosened from inside. Moonlight on the water, breathing in and out. Every ripple carries every fear you doubt. Lay your sorrow on the shore. Let the stillness make it smaller. Watch it drift from you forever. Moonlight on the water. Hush now, listen to the long, unhurried roll, where the dark and light are braided like the stories of a soul. If you leave your burden here, as the waves grow faint and farther, you will rise as dawn comes walking from the moonlight on the water. Morning mist on the window, steam from the kettle curls in the air. Your chair by the fire stays waiting, soft woven throws still there. You write from a harbor town, salt on the paper creases and folds. Say the gulls steal your supper, but never the hope you hold. Across the quiet sea, where the stars learn your name, my heart keeps a place at the table. Cup turned down, still the same. Years can bend the road, miles can rise like a hill between. But this small, quiet love stays bright in the spaces unseen. I walk where the hedgerows lean, foxglove and clover nod as I pass. Count every step to the mailbox, pray for your careful hand. When the wind grows sharp and wild and the night feels far too long, I press my palm to the window, hear your voice inside this song.
Stone on stone, moss in every seam. Gulls trace circles over nets that steam. Lanterns like small stars swaying on the pier. Footsteps on wet wood, always someone here. In the harbor that never sleeps, tide takes secrets, tide brings them back. Voices rise like curling smoke, in the harbor that never sleeps. Old men mend the morning, talk of storms they knew, names scratched into boulders, faded paint, salt blue. Children race the shadows, chasing broken foam. Every rusted anchor holds a story's home. In the harbor that never sleeps, tide takes secrets, tide brings them back. Voices rise like curling smoke in the harbor that never sleeps. Night folds down, but the waves keep talking, low and slow, like an ancient prayer. Ships breathe in the dark, ropes creak, hearts remember all who left, all who were waiting there. In the harbor that never sleeps, tide takes secrets, tide brings them back. Voices rise like curling smoke in the harbor that never sleeps. He sat by the harbor wall, boots worn thin as the dawn, salt in the seams of his coat, years in the lines on his palms. Boy, keep your eyes on the wind, never on gold alone. He poured the sea in his words, slow as a stone being thrown. The tides remember what we forget, every promise, every debt. You can chase fortune from port to port, but the waves will measure the weight of your heart. The waves will measure the weight of your heart. He spoke of a black November, storm like a beast in the foam. We lost more than ropes and timber, we lost the thought we were strong. Fear is a good companion if you can make it obey. Courage is walking forward, knowing you still might be swept away. Love that is not an anchor, anchors just hold you in place. Find you a soul that can stand the swell and still choose your weathered face. He rose as the gulls fell silent, hand on my shoulder, then gone. Only the slap of the water left finishing off his song. On a cliff where the sea eats stone stands a tower of salt-worn bone. Old man keeper with a rusted key talks to the wind more than to me. Endless nights at the farthest light, lantern turning slow in the rain. If the waves remember my name, let them carry it out of sight. Endless nights at the farthest light. He sets flame to the hollow glass, thumbs the crack where the storms once passed. As every ship is a story half told, then falls quiet as the bell tolls. Endless nights at the farthest light, lantern turning slow in the rain. If the waves remember my name, let them carry it out of sight. Endless nights at the farthest light. Said he once loved a sailor's laugh, face like foam that would never last. Her ring lies cold in a shallow drawer, her name unspoken at the door. Years stack up like the driftwood piles, boots wear thin on the same four tiles. He keeps watch where the black sky bends, counting waves instead of friends. Endless nights at the farthest light, lantern turning slow in the rain. If the waves remember my name, let them carry it out of sight. Lantern finally failed to rise, fog pressed in over empty skies. But from the deep came a wandering glow, like his last breath, not letting go. Cliffs lean over a silver bay,
old stones, older than any name. Waves carve letters along the shore, then gather them back all the same. Where the tides remember more than any man can hold, they smooth the sharpest edges, they soften broken oaths. In the pull and the surrender, we are sand in a moving hand. By the grace of the changing water, tides shape the heart like they shape the land. You came walking the morning strand, boots in your hand, hair in your face. We spoke easy of nothing much, yet the sea kept marking our place. Year on year the headland fades, yet stands in its slow decay. So do we love, day by day. Worn, remain, pulled away, has to stay. He sat by the harbor fire, coat salt-stained, boots worn thin, hands like old rope, rough and tired, eyes bright as the moon come in. He warmed them around a clay cup, steam rising, he watched it fade. Sea keeps what the sea will keep, lad, gives back only foam and trade. Sing low, old sailor, sing low, let the smoke carry each word slow. All your storms and silver tides, lay them down here by our side. Sing low, old sailor, sing low. He spoke of a night of fastnet, black waves taller than the mast, lanterns swinging like a lost star, prayers swallowed in the blast. We stitched up the sky with curses, laughed hard so we wouldn't shake. Men are small against that water, still we swear the swell will break. Sing low, old sailor, sing low, let the smoke carry each word slow. All your storms and silver tides, lay them down here girl in Dingle, waiting, counting every goal. How he carried her name like anchor in a world that was never full. One spring she grew tired of waiting, found her harbor on the land. I still taste her name in the rain, like a cup touched by her hand. Sing low, old sailors, sing low. Let the smoke carry each word slow. All your storms and silver tides, lay them down here by our side. Sing low, old sailors, sing low. The fire sank down to embers, shadows climbed the cottage wall. His voice turned soft as a weathered rope. Sea remembers more than all. Sing low, old sailors, sing low, old sailors, sing low, old sailors.
By the door I stand in shadow. Kettle hums, the embers fade. Rain has traced its silver story down the glass this whole long day. I am quiet as the heather on the hill, holding fast through every weather, standing still. I will wait until you find your way to me. Quiet strength, like an old deep tree. All the fields remember footsteps, all the stones recall our names. I sinking low in the west, like a slow and silent hymn. I stand alone on the shore where the day drifts out to sea. Every wave takes one more fading dream from me, yet I stay with the last light on the bay. Old gulls circle and cry, boats turn home through the gold. I taste the salt of the wind and the things we left untold. If I whisper your name, will it ride on the phone? Carry out all my ache, bring a soft kind of home, or just fall like a stone through the swell. Soft is the sky, bare feet on the sand, mist on the stones, shells in my hand, kettle smoke rising from a cottage of stone. Gulls tracing circles where the tide has flown. Morning on the tidal shore, silver water gentle waves carry them home. Old wooden jetty, worn smooth by the years, small painted boats dreaming on their piers. stray too far from here, if my days grow harsh and loud, I will close my eyes and feel salt on the air, soft as a shroud.
Laid out the nets on the kitchen floor, salt still caught in the frayed old rope. Mother folded my sweater twice, said, there's warmer work ashore. My brother's hands were black with ink, ledger lines and a clerk's dull chair. He said you could have a key to a door and a coat you'd never tear. But the sea had a hold of my name, like a wave that won't fall back. Every road on land turned strange, every map went pale and flat. So I kissed their cheeks, took the harbor wind, let it carry what's left of me. I chose the call that never ends. I paid the cost of the sea. First year took the shine from my skin. Second year took a friend I knew. Third year I stopped counting the days, just counted the scars that grew. Letters home came fewer, thin, smelled of smoke, not bread, not rain. Father's script turned small and slow, till it vanished from my name. There's a ring in a box by my bunk, from a girl who wouldn't wait. She married a man with steady ground and a roof that doesn't shake. Now I stand by the rail before dawn, mug gone cold in my stiff right hand. I trace their faces in the foam, watch them sink like lines in sand. But the sea had a hold of my name, like a wave that won't fall back. Every road on land turned strange, every map went pale and flat. So I kissed their cheeks, took the harbor wind, let it carry what's left of me. I chose the call that never ends. I paid the cost of the sea. There's a bend in the lane past the blackthorn hedge, where the river cuts sharp through the stone. I stood there at 20 with a pack on my back, swore I'd follow the far wind alone. But your hand found my sleeve and your voice found my name, like you'd worn both for years in your mind. I laughed, said another day, left that road behind. So I'll drink to the roads I never walked, and the ships that never saw my face. Raise a glass to the ghosts of younger plans, let them vanish, leave no trace. I could count every turn as a failure, wear the weight of what I'll never get, but I'm choosing memory over regret. There's a box by the bed of old paper and thread, faded letters you thought that I'd burned. One from a harbor, one stamped from the mines, all the lives I once swore that I'd earned. We sit on the floor trading what if and when, till the fire settles down into red. Then you lean on my shoulder and whisper, we're richer in stories instead. I have stood in the quiet of an empty field, heard the wind call the boy I was then, but he smiles in my mind, tips his cap to this life, says, you did well, my old friend. So I'll walk home slow by the barley, with the last of the daylight left, still choosing memory over regret. I have stood in the quiet of an empty field, heard the wind call the boy I was then, but he smiles in my mind, tips his cap to this life, says, you did well, my old friend. So I walk home slow by the barley, with the last of the day left. Sun sliding down that far old ridge, gold on the roofs and the river bend. You'd lean back, boots in the dusty grass, say, wait, just watch it end. We'd count the colors on that line, where day falls into time. You'd say, listen, this is how the world sighs soft, then changes shape somehow. The evening's on the horizon, holding on as it was gone. Smoke from the chimneys hanging low, dogs start to bark at the first barn light. You trace maps in the cooling dirt, smaller by night. We count the colors on that line where day falls into time. You'd say, listen, this is how the world sighs soft, then changes shape somehow. Years roll over like distant hills. Names fade out, but the sky stays white. I sit alone on the same worn rise, saving a place by my side. We'd count the colors on that line where day falls into time. You'd say, listen, this is how
They say she slipped out on a fog-thick dawn. Salt on the ropes and the hatchway drawn. Lanterns dim as the tired eyes glow. The merry weather bound where the cold winds blow. Raise one more cup for the merry weather, name worn smooth as a river stone, long gone to the sleep of the water. But she sails in the stories we own. Old Tom swears he heard her creaking past, a year after the gale took her mizzen mast. Swore he saw her wake in a moonlit swell. Then the sea rolled flat and the night kept still. Raise one more cup for the merry weather, name worn smooth as a river stone, long gone to the sleep of the water. But she sails in the stories we own. Children grow up on the harbor wall, tracing her shape in the nets that fall. Ask their grandmothers what became of her crew. Boy, the sea keeps secrets, but it keeps them true.
Kettle on the stove, cup cooling in my hands. Lantern throwing circles across this quiet sand. I spend my nights just listening to waves. Let them tell the stories I forgot to say name by name. They call what I once knew. The night the waves remembered me more than I remembered you. Boots by the door, coat on the chair, fog on the window, your shape's still there. Some tides bring driftwood, some bring a storm. This one brought your laughter back soft and worn. I whispered to the water, it answered like a friend. Said every shore is only where the longing has to end.
Pebbles cold beneath our heels, sky all gray and breathing rain. You trace circles in the sand, said this place will know our names. Host by the turning tide, spoken soft, but they reach so wide. Waves roll in and they fade from sight. Still I carry what you swore that night. You left patterns with a driftwood stick, lines and arrows pointing home. Tied a ribbon to my wrist, said this thread will not let go. Forced by the turning tide, spoken soft, but they reach so wide. Waves roll in, years fall quiet like the foam. I walk that shore alone. Your ribbon's frayed, but it still holds tight. Every promise echoes with the gulls in flight. By the turning tide, spoken soft, but they reach so wide. Waves roll in, then they fade from sight.
tar and salt on the rail I hold. Sure, a shadow I can't quite tell, fading like a half-told story. This is the last watch on the water, last slow roll of the grieving tide. Raise one more cup for the sons and daughters sleeping far beneath her side. Coils of rope where the young lad sang now lie still in a quiet heap. Names carved rough in the oak and planks, worn by years of boots and weeping. This is the last watch on the water, last slow roll of the grieving tide. Raise one more cup for the sons and daughters sleeping far beneath her side. Captain's coat on an empty nail, chart rolled tight by the cabin door. Stars look down like a line of sails, guiding us, then nothing more. This is the last watch on the water, last slow roll of the grieving tide. Raise one more cup for the sons and daughters sleeping far beneath her side. He walks where the tide leaves lace on the sand, boots worn smooth like the back of his hand. Salt in his beard, grey in his gaze, counting each footprint like the counting of days. And he whispers, oh my brothers, where did all our seasons go? Names like islands on his tongue as the cold waves rise and flow. Every white cap holds a story, every gull call sounds a prayer for the ones who never made it home, and still he finds them in the air. There's schemers who laughed over cards in the hold, Tom with the songs that could chase off the cold. He sees them in clouds, in the curve of a sail, in the tilt of a mast on an invisible gale. The harbor bells echo across the dimming bay. He pauses by the jetty stones where they all once sailed away. He tips his cap to empty sea, to every face he knew by heart, says, I'll follow when you call for me, but not yet, not yet to depart.
He said, boy, take this weathered coat, these buttons carved from bone. Follow the gulls past the leaning pier, learn how the waves make you their own. Salt in my eyes, a trembling deck, lantern swinging slow. I thought I'd master every storm by force of will alone. But the sea taught me patience, not power, tide after tireless tide. You can pull dawn from a midnight sky, or rush a turning tide. Year after year on that open water, I finally learned to see how a quiet heart will outlast the wind in the long years the tides took from me. We waited days for a hint of wind, sails hanging like old clothes, cards on a barrel, stories told, till every anger froze. I watched the old man mend one net, each knot slow and sure. Said, boy, haste here's what you're trying to save. Go steady if you want it to endure. I came home older than my face, lines the mirror couldn't show. Walking the shore where I used to run, letting the small waves kiss my toes. Now when the world pulls at my sleeve, dares me to chase and race, I breathe like the harbor at evening and move at a kinder pace.
Soft on the sand where the shells lie broken, I walk with the wind and the salt in my hair. Every small footprint, a word left unspoken, yet somehow I feel that you're already there. Quiet faith like the endless tides, coming and going, yet always beside. I don't see your hand, but I know your size. In the hush of the shore and the pool of the skies. Boats on the bay fade to faint little shadows, ghosts circle home through a silver gray day. I've run out of questions to cast at the shallows, so I stand in the stillness and let you be safe. Quiet faith like the endless tides, coming and going, yet always beside. I don't see your hand, but I know your size. In the hush of the shore and the pool of the skies. When my heart is a stone in the palm of the water, when my prayers fall as short as my breath, you turn every wave to a small simple altar and promise me life in the rhythm of by the bend of the bay where the brown rocks lean, I walk with the salt in my hair. The gulls draw their circles, the day turns green, and the wind folds a prayer in the air. I kneel where the tide leaves a shining line between all I've lost and I'll be. Lay my palm on the foam, feel your hand on mine as I whisper my dreams to the sea. Oh, the sea keeps my dreams where the sun cannot burn them, where the years cannot turn them to stone. Every wish, every word that the shore never heard in the deep, they are cradled and known. Oh, the sea keeps my dreams, so I'm never I tell her of children not yet in my arms, of a cottage with smoke in the rain, of a lantern that waits, of unfinished yarns, of your boots by the door once again. The waves answer soft with a silver sigh, like a mother who rocks silently, and she pulls all my fears like the moon pulls the tide from my throat, from my heart out to sea. Oh, the sea keeps my dreams where the sun cannot burn them, where the every wish, every word that the shore never heard. In the deep they are cradled and known. Oh, the sea keeps my dreams, so I'm never alone. Someday when my footsteps grow shallow and slow, and my hair takes the color of foam, I will lie by the shore, feel the undertow of the place that remembers my hope. And if ever you stand on this same wet sand, with a sorrow too heavy to speak, close your eyes, let it fall from the shake of your hand. She will carry your dreams to the deep.
He sat by the harbor wall, boots worn thin as the dawn, salt in the seams of his coat, years in the lines on his palms. Boy, keep your eyes on the wind, never on gold alone. He poured the sea in his words, slow as a stone being thrown. The tides remember what we forget, every promise, every debt. You can chase fortune from port to port, but the waves will measure the weight of your heart. The waves will measure the weight of your heart. He spoke of a black November, storm like a beast in the foam. We lost more than ropes and timber, we lost the thought we were strong. Fear is a good companion if you can make it obey. Courage is walking forward, knowing you still might be swept away. Love, lad, is not an anchor anchored
just hold you in place. Find you a soul that can stand the swell and still choose your weathered face. He rose as the ghost fell silent, hand on my shoulder, then gone. Only the slap of the water left, finishing off his song.
Harbor at the gray dawn, ropes creak, breath like steam, boot prints on the wet boards. World still caught in sleep, a gull draws one slow circle over crates and tar and chain. Lanterns fade to pale sky as we ease out through the rain. So raise your hand to the harbor at the gray dawn, where names are called in whispers and in waves. We leave like slow tide, slipping from the shoreline, quiet as a promise that we saved. Old Joe folds his notebook, tucks it in his coat, says, write me when you're able, but his eyes already know. The bell on top the chapel rings once, then holds its tongue. Our wake carves through the harbor like a line we can't outrun. Houses shrink to matchboxes, chimneys blur in mist. I taste the town in salt air, every stone I'll miss. But the sea keeps breathing steady, like it's known me all along, and the harbor keeps its distance as the tide pulls us on. So raise your hand to the harbor at the gray dawn, where names are called in whispers and in waves. We leave like slow tides, slipping from the shoreline, quiet as a promise that we save.